this computer. Okay. Hi, Bala.
Hi, Raj. Nice to see you on an afternoon.
Yes. So today, what I was thinking we'll do is we'll just, because each team has played three matches. Yeah, 3 matches, and we have been around for about 12 days of IPL 2020. I thought let us just do a throwback and see what are the interesting, funny instances. Maybe we'll talk about that. What do you say?
Yeah, the roundup is a good idea because there is some kind of a symmetry now. Top 4 teams have won 2 matches each, and the bottom 4 teams have lost 2 matches each. So there is some kind of a symmetry which allows us a chance to look back at what has happened.
Yes. So what for you? Let me ask you, what for you has been the most unique amongst in this IPL so far?
It's not unique. I wouldn't say unique. What has been stand out is the absolute come down in the level of play with CSK, because I being Chennai, I obviously start off with CSK. Its fall from, I don't know whether it is the right term to use. Its fall from grace is pretty precipitous. In the 2 matches it lost, it's kind of revealing of the whole problem that exists within the CSK setup. It doesn't have the firepower both in the team as well as in the squad. I mean, once there is a problem in the squad, the balance is not there. The top order is not firing. That is there. But if you are looking for alternatives, whether that is there in the squad, it is not there.
Yeah.
So the loss of Suresh Raina has been huge. See, it is he is kind of the player who brought some kind of a stability at the top of the order. He is not there, so that has obviously hurt. And Dhoni missing his mojo is again another problem. So those two things have been huge for me in this IPL.
So since I come from Bangalore, so let me just look at RCB. So RCB to me is actually in the top half. So they've actually won 2 matches right in the beginning, which to me is fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. So they might have won it in contrasting styles. Things, I mean, we can always find fault, but at the end of the day, they have actually won 2 matches. So which brings me to the interesting point actually. I mean, as one of my friends, Edward, who commented on our one of our live videos, he said that, look, this time it is the 8 teams. It could end up in a situation where it is too close to call. So it might be a battle where fortunes do change with every match. So that was his point of view. I think, which would be great for the IPL, which would be great for all of us to watch, right? I mean, watching one-sided. What is the most boring thing in cricket? Apart from listening to commentary, maybe it's watching one-sided matches.
And let's be honest, nobody wants another Mumbai Indians versus CSK finals.
Yeah, I know. For the umpteenth time, maybe we should have 2. I mean, even during the knockouts, I would be very happy if there are 4 teams which have not been in the knockout in the recent past. So you're right. So I think that is one part. I think that is done and dusted. So what else? What else do you think has been a unique? I mean, again, I don't want to use the word unique. What else has stood out? I'll put it that way.
Stood out. I mean, purely from an Indian perspective, and with the development that has a chance to have an impact on the Indian team itself, the emergence of Sanju Samson. I mean, he has been there for the last few years, but his performance had been patchy. I mean, as everyone has said, there is a lack of consistency in his batting. Though his batting is terrific, and he has had a few outings with the Indian team, he has not been able to manage the semblance of consistency. But there seems to be that particular level of consistency that we all expect from a player of his stature. So that is there, and he seems to have worked out his flaws, and he has put in the hard yards in the lockdown period. So physically he's also there. His fielding has been tremendous, but his batting, 2 matches on the trot, he has been very good. Even in the match that RR lost against KKR last night, he had a couple of good shots. Though he didn't score many, he is there.
But that's okay, right? I mean, if you have a failure in between 2 successes, after 2 successes, that's fine. I mean, it's fine.
But it augurs well, because when Pant is not firing as much, somebody like Rahul and Samson doing well is very.
So for me, that has been an important. You're right. See, I'm looking beyond Samson. I'm saying yesterday what we saw from Mavi and Nagarkoti is good. I mean,
exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah, you have Ravi Bishnoi who is actually bowling well. So, I mean, in case you have an off day for some of the others. So the fact that we have some new names, or not new names, at least new guys doing well, I think makes it good for Indian cricket. I think.
Yeah, you might want to have another look at Varun Chakravarti.
Yeah, so these are the guys. Yeah, so these are guys. So, like I said, Varun Chakravarti is there. So if you think of, I mean, if I put it this way, over these 12 days, who are the Indian names that come to mind? Who are which sort of makes us feel good about the future Indian T20 ODI test teams?
Let's not talk about somebody like Rahul, because Rahul is
he's there. Yeah, he's there.
So he's very good. See, in terms of spring players, Mayank Agarwal, though is not cemented as plays in the limited over format.
Yeah.
So Mayank Agarwal is impressive. You talk about Ravi Bishnoi.
Yeah.
See, you can also talk about this Kishan. Kishan is impressive. Though he had just one, he was very impressive.
Ishan Kishan, yes, he could be one. Yeah.
And you rightly brought the names of Mavi and Nagarkoti.
Yeah.
I'm very thrilled about their emergence. I mean, though it was just one match, the last night's match, they had a full go. But I'm very gung-ho about their prospects.
Yeah.
And who else about from Indian? Sanju Samson is there, and who else?
Yeah, I think that is about it. That's a good lot. I think I'm sure.
Natarajan. I want to bring about Natarajan. Yeah. He was impressive, and this RCB bowler, pace bowler, who won them the super over.
Oh,
RCB bowler.
Saini, Navdeep Saini.
Navdeep Saini. He is mighty impressive. You can certainly have a look at him. He's good, man. He's good.
Yeah. So this also augurs well, because I mean, you don't see every player wants to play every match. So because at the end of the day, in India, in a country like India, everyone thinks that, okay, I'm in now, let me make the most out of it in terms of the money that I can make. However, if you have more players for the same slot, you probably can extend their careers. See, I remember Rahul Dravid saying this long back.
That's
he was saying that players need to be managed, and the players don't know that they need to be managed. At least in India, that is the way it functions, because they think that out of sight, out of mind. That's not true. So even if you play consistently today at the local level, you still make money. And there is always IPL, which gives you the buffer that you need. So I feel that having more players is actually going to do great for Indian cricket. So I think all the names we took makes a lot of sense. So, and then we'll see how it augurs. And I was damn impressed with the way Natarajan actually bowled those Yorkers. It was almost like he woke up and started bowling Yorkers. So, yeah, that was really
good. That's how he won his name in the TNPL league.
Yes.
He was mighty impressive in 2017 and 2018. And that's how he got into Kings 11 Punjab in 2017. Unfortunately, he never had a settled run with Punjab. But I'm very happy that he has got he has made his mark in this IPL. And what is impressive is the side story about him. He comes from a small town from near Salem, which is not quite well known for cricket. But since he didn't have the opportunities in that place, he has now set up a cricket academy there to help guys who might be emerging from there, which is very great for a small player to do something for the community that he emerged from, which is very great.
I think there is a lot that other cricketers can learn from this, especially the ones who come from big cities. We are not trying to be preachy, but then somebody said, I don't know.
You're right.
Philanthropy. It's the poorer guy who is more philanthropic than the richer guy.
And it is not just that. He has also helped another emerging fast bowler in Tamil Nadu by name Periyasamy, who has some problem with his eye. He has helped him out.
See, that's the point. I think these are lovely stories that I think should be shared at a wider level, wider level. So anyway, now that we have gone through with that part, I mean, for me, another interesting aspect has been the spinners who have been on display in the business. So somewhere the leg spinner started taking precedence over the other type of finger spinner, as we call it. We'll put it that way. So the irony of all of this is that if you look at the figures of the leg spinners, pretty much everyone has gone for a lot of runs.
And some of them have also done well.
Yeah. I mean, very few. See now, again, I'm not taking
Chahal.
Chahal I'm taking out of the...
Chahal is
I'm taking him out. I mean, he's supposed to be doing well.
But Vishnu, I found him impressive. I found Murugan Ashwin impressive.
Yeah, so that is where. So I'm coming to Murugan Ashwin. So Murugan Ashwin is against. I mean, he has done well in the middle overs. Now the funny thing is, IPL, when IPL started, if you remember, Ashwin started bowling up front in IPL.
Yes.
No, I mean the other Ashwin, the Ravichandran Ashwin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So so today, which means that off spinners do have a role to play. Deepak Patel had a role to play in ODI cricket way before all of IPL even was. IPL was conceived. So suddenly you find that off spinners they don't matter, and yet you found Washington Sundar bowling 4 overs for 12
another
runs.
Player. Exactly.
Yeah. So 4 overs for 12 runs. Now that is what I'm saying, that see, I mean, in Hindi there is a word called bhed chal. Somebody does it, everybody wants to do it. So I think some chaps need to sort of sit down and think, okay, am I doing this because I've seen somebody else doing this, or am I doing this because I believe in what I'm doing? I think that is the question the coaches and the managers and everybody else who form the think tank actually need to make. I think that is where Shane Warne would be. Morning we talked about it on the other show, live show. I think that is where people like Shane Warne and Brendan McCullum will come out into their own as we go forward. I expect that to happen. So they are not doing it because other people have done it. They are doing it because they see merit in doing it. So that is, I think, that is an important part.
Even Simon Katich, who does it for RCB, he also would be looking at these things, because Washington Sundar, you brought up Washington Sundar's name, and as a finger spinner, he is impressive. And I just talked about Varun Chakravarti. He is a kind of a mystery spinner, but he uses his finger a lot for bowling.
Yeah.
So finger spinners do have a space.
Yeah. So that is the point.
What is worrying is the loss of form of Ravindra Jadeja. He is just not bowling. He has been going for plenty. And in all the 3 matches, he has gone for beyond 40.
Yeah, so to me, I think loss of form is euphemism for batsmen figuring you out. In my mind, at least.
It's not euphemism. It's plain.
It is plain. Yeah. So loss of form, you somehow make it appear as if, form is. So you have these cliches, no? Form is temporary, class is permanent. All this.
He has been sorted out.
Yeah. So he has been sorted out. So he needs to work with somebody. Maybe a left-arm spinner, maybe somebody, maybe one. I don't know. Ravi Shastri is supposed to be a left-arm spinner, but then we'll not go there for today.
No.
Okay. So
I know you have a thing or two against Ravi Shastri.
I don't have anything against him. I just think that he probably was. He never could make up his mind whether he's a batsman who could bowl or a bowler who can bat. I think that is his problem. Nothing else.
But
so he still needs to. Ability. Yeah, all of that is fine. Limited ability is to work then, not now. So the problem is that it is limited.
Let's not. There is no point discussing Ravi Shastri now.
Yes. So I would feel that he needs to go back to the drawing board and work with somebody. Somebody who's a left-arm spinner or who probably is a spinner, and then figure it out. Like yesterday, I was listening to commentary. Sivaramakrishnan was actually pointing out the wrong deliveries that they were bowling at some point, where they were getting the RR bowlers were bowling when they were getting clobbered. So, for example, you had a scenario where if you are a leg spinner, Shreyas Gopal was actually bowling leg spin to Andre Russell, and he was bowling it at middle and off. And where is Andre Russell's sitting area? Cow corner. Now, how difficult is it to figure out that you are making the wrong choice? You are bowling leg spin, bowl it outside the off stump man and let it go further down. Because it is very difficult for him to fetch it back. And Russell has a hitting zone. We know that. And and they cut and showed Shane Warne immediately pointing out to off stump. You could see his hand move. He says, bowl it there, bowl it there. Anyway, they immediately cut and showed that. So that is what needs to happen. That is what Jadeja also needs. Somebody needs to sit him down and say, buddy, this is what you're doing, and this is what you need to see who's in front of you and then bowl.
Because
it's not a one size.
I still feel that Jadeja has some more cricket left in him, and he needs to work that out.
Much more cricket. So to me, I would even go to the extent of saying promote him to number 3.
Give him
see what happens.
Give
him a chance. Yeah, make him feel. Tell him, see, Dhoni is excellent at that. Tell him, boss, this is what you are supposed to be doing here. You are not supposed to be whacking every ball out of the ground. You need to anchor the innings. So if Shane Watson and Murali Vijay is not happening, send him at number 3. If Rayudu is at number 3, send him at number 4. So give him more responsibility. In that process, also sort of get him to understand
Make
that.
Him understand that. Yeah, you are right. Because that's what RR did with Rahul Tivitia. They pushed him up, and
suddenly you saw
the criticism. The first 10 deliveries, though he didn't score any, the criticism against was valid, but still he came up with the goods when it mattered.
Yeah.
So that's how you answer. So you make the person, you push them into the deep end, they will come through. That's what Shane Watt did right in the first edition of IPL. That's how Ravindra Jadeja came up.
Yeah, maybe he should just go back to Shane Warne and ask him, boss. I was a superstar. You made me the rock star. You called me a rock star. No, I'm a rock. The star is
just a rock.
Yeah. So can you make me a rock star again? I'm sure Shane Warne will probably give him the right perspective to it. So that is the other part. Now, coming to a third scenario, I found it very intriguing that every time a team is chasing, it's very rare that they have a good opening stand. Any thoughts on that? When they are chasing, when they start off.
Obviously, the cliche of scoreboard pressure is obviously telling. But other part is, many openers, they have not been in circulation for so long. See, take the case of CSK. The two openers, Vijay and Shane Watson, they have been out of it. So it clearly shows they are rusty.
Didn't Shane Watson play the Caribbean League?
He played, but he is rusty because he is not a regular.
Yeah, but I feel that to me the other thing also is that are they trying to do too much? Because the scoreboard pressure is real. I understand. I'm not saying it's not real.
Yeah, obviously they will try to do something better, no?
So maybe that is something they need to figure out. What is happening? Which brings us to our my old pet peeve, which is win the toss, bowl first. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So
we have not had a real low scoring match. The 140 below 140 or 140 thereabouts. It's not the team that has batted first has almost managed 150 or 160 thereabouts.
Yeah, 160 plus was the lowest. I think one of the lowest scores was 160 plus, which was the tie.
140. I think KKR changed around 140. I think KKR changed around 140. KKR, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's true.
KKR, yeah. So that's far and few between. So
yeah,
in all the matches, the team batting second has had to go for broke right from start. So that has been that has affected the openers, and it has not helped that many of them have not had great stints previously coming into the IPL.
Yeah, and it also has not helped that their captains went and decided to bowl first. So
that started it. That's the first mistake.
Yeah, think of somebody like Devdutt Padikkal. Here is a guy who wants to whack everything from here to, wherever he's playing into the next stadium. And suddenly he sees this 220 being wanted for that it needs to be chased. So if he doesn't get one, he immediately goes for the next one. So you're right. I think what you're saying is right. That is exactly the problem.
Devdutt Padikkal, I think he scored both his 50s batting first. The one failure has come when he was batting second.
Right? That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. That's what I meant. So suddenly he looks at the scoreboard and he wants to think that he has to clear. Deposit every ball that is coming to him in the stadium, right? So that's what happens. Anyway, so that is the next one. One more final thing I want to ask is, the two small points. One is about the captaincy. How do you see the captains? Yeah, captains going in this. In these limited opportunities, 3 matches, too early to think. Who has been your favorite captain?
The format is also very limited. But somebody like, you talked about it in our live discussion this morning. You were impressed with KKR's Dinesh Karthik because he took a leaf out of Brendan McCullum's book. And he was impressive in his changes, especially the bowling changes. He was pretty impressive. But one thing, in general, I was not very happy with the captains as such as this fixation with right-left combination.
Yeah, I agree.
What is worrying? Because they seem to think that will always work. Because a good 2 right-hand batsmen they think is never going to come good. Even if the left-right combination, even if it is not the need of the occasion, they still stick with it.
So to me, the classic example of what you said, Bala, in real life is Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul. Both are right-handeds. They have done wonderfully well in opening stands. I mean, I think that has been one opening partnership which has always worked in pretty much every match. Right. So if they can do it, what is the problem then? What are we talking about? And are we trying to say that bowlers are dumb?
See, that is goes to the basic point that captains seem to come with a pre-conceived notion, both in terms of toss as well as in this left-right combination.
Yes. And we actually have commentators. Yesterday or day before yesterday, I heard Gavaskar saying, "Okay, why did he send? Because they could have sent Eoin Morgan ahead of."
Yeah, exactly. I also noticed that.
I'm like, what are you talking about here? I mean, I don't think at that level that they are playing in left and right and all does matters. If you and I are playing cricket, or the way we played in school, maybe we can say that, okay, suddenly you find one guy standing left-handed, you end up bowling thinking you are a right-hander. But I think those are far and few.
If you're talking about RCB, the two best players should be out there, and they are Kohli and De Villiers, and they are both right-handed.
So how does it matter? And De Villiers bats. I don't think he cares. He cares whether he's right or left-handed. Same way, Eoin Morgan doesn't care a damn whether he's right or left. He seems to be hitting every type of shot. So, I mean,
captains need to relax a bit and think about about the ideas.
Yeah. That's a very fair point, I think. That is a very fair point. And to me, the captains also need to think about do I always need to bat first or bat last?
Yeah.
Do I need to chase? So that is the other thing I would go with. So I think each team has to figure out what is good for them, not what others are doing, and then sort of mimic that, which is a trend which I'm I'm not able to understand. I'll put it that way. What is happening? I'm not able to understand.
As normal human beings, like middle class people, we tend to follow whatever next door neighbor does.
Yes.
That's so the kind of situation
my neighbor has bought a 55-inch TV. I'll also buy 155-inch. My
so
room
he sends his son to some engineering college. So I also try and push my daughter to engineering.
Yeah. So So see, that is the way it is. So that I find it a little awkward. And finally, I think we'll just come to that one part which I wanted to discuss, Bala, is we all talk about valuable players in a team. So let us look at each team and see who has been the most valuable till now. What do you say?
Okay. Yeah, fair. We should discuss.
So let us go with. We'll go team by team. I think that will make it easier instead of
start with your city, Bangalore. I would think though Kohli and the De Villiers of the best batsmen, valuable has been this particular youngster.
Yeah, I would. I would go with either.
He has been giving them the impetus. Padikkal and Navdeep Saini the bowling. They too have given them the much needed fillip.
Yeah, I would go with either of these guys. You're right. I'm with you. I'll go with either of these guys. So no debate on that. It's either Devdutt Padikkal or Navdeep Saini. One of these guys. Yeah, we need to pick one of these as the most valuable.
And next, if you come to Chennai, Sam Curran has brought some kind of balance or fast du Plessis. Both are foreigners, but then again, it's very unfortunate that we don't have anybody else pushing for this claim in this particular CSK team. There isn't anybody.
Yeah, I would go with Sam Curran as a key person. Now, I think Dhoni needs to think of ways to use him better. And there is always that dark horse who didn't play after the first match. The guy who wanted to buy 3 television sets. So
let's not talk about it.
Ambati Rayudu, So then he needs to play more. He only played 1 game, so we'll leave it there.
Yeah,
Sam Curran probably is the key person.
Ambati Rayudu unfortunately had a hamstring issue, so that's unfortunate.
So
then we'll talk about. We are done with 2. We'll go to
Delhi Capitals. No, let us see Delhi Capitals. Let us look at Delhi Capitals. Who are the people? Who do you think is the most valuable person there as of today? It could change.
As of today, I would think Rabada.
Kagiso Rabada.
Yes. Because his incisive spells right at the start have been giving them that edge.
And even in the death overs.
Even super over. And his partnership with the South African Norgay.
So that is the problem. I didn't want to name the other person because I have no clue how to spell his name. I hear it as Nokia in my mind. I'm sure he is not Nokia. It sounds like
I
Nokia
think
or something like that.
Nokia. That's
Yeah.
the right pronunciation, I guess.
Yeah.
Nokia.
But then, so I would still go with Rabada because I feel Rabada is, he is sort of really making the difference up front and also in the death overs. So to me, I think we'll probably stick with him. So Rabada is. So what we'll do is we'll list these out and then look after they have played, say, maybe 6 or 7 games and see how they have done.
We'll
So
come
next
back
is
for another
KKR.
roundup.
KKR. Next is KKR.
Morgan. I would straight away go with Morgan.
Yeah,
he gives the balance.
Yeah.
He can defend. He can also go for shots.
Yeah. So, at this point, Eoin Morgan, I think probably, and I think there would be something which is not very visible, but you can see that Morgan is actually in Dinesh Karthik's year many times. So having a World Cup winning captain at your side makes sense for KKR.
Yeah. It's one of those TV Tamil commentary. Somebody was suggesting that captaincy should be with Morgan, and only the toss should be with Karthik. Just for fun, but there is some kind of a merit in that argument.
Yeah, but then these two guys seem to be ganging up well. I'm very happy the way that. So I don't think Morgan is a sort of guy. Yeah.
And Karthik is another team person. He is all ears to people who are around him. So he listens to people.
Yeah.
So he's not an adamantine person.
Yeah. So then who else? What else? We'll go to Rajasthan Royals now.
Yeah, Rajasthan Royals. I would think Archer.
Jofra Archer by a distance. As of now, Jofra Archer by a distance because you always have Sanju Samson.
Sanju Samson. Yeah. I would. If you are talking about an Indian Sanju Samson, he has given them that firepower right at the start. Yeah,
so both of them are giving different types of firepower. Jofra Archer's only challenge is that the last match he didn't bowl the way he did yesterday. So there was almost something. Yeah, we'll keep it 50-50. These are one of these two I would go.
Yeah. See, these are not finite choices.
Yes.
Somebody else will pick somebody else.
Yes, personally, I might go with Sanju Samson because on both occasions he sort of did fantastically well. Although yesterday he failed, where Jofra Archer succeeded. So it's a bit iffy. We'll go with one. We'll just sort of or say that both of these it could be 50-50 with this.
See, being an Indian show, we'll stick with Sanju Samson.
Yeah, let us be a little chauvinistic there. We'll go with Sanju Samson there. Kings 11 Punjab. I don't think we need to look beyond KL Rahul, right? As of now.
KL Rahul. Exactly.
We don't need to look beyond that. Although I'm mighty impressed with the way Mohammad Shami has bowled till now. So let us see what happens.
And they also have the additional this thing with Mayank Agarwal.
Yeah, I would still go with KL Rahul because he's wicket keeping and he's also captain. So 3 things.
So which other team?
Mumbai Indians.
We'll come to Mumbai Indians last. Because being the defending champion. SRH, because SRH has more or less stripped under the radar so far.
Yeah.
I mean, SRH, I have to bring up Kane Williamson because you are a votary of Kane Williamson even when he was not playing. And when he was playing, he was the difference. And he made them win the match. And you were vindicated. So Kane Williamson, it should be.
Yeah, although he has only played 1 match of 3.
Exactly,
we'll probably stick with Kane Williamson. Yeah, we'll stick with him. And finally,
he's a Morgan kind of player.
Yes.
He can play with the big shots. He can also anchor the
gears. Yeah, shift gears. That's true. So Mumbai Indians, then who would you go with?
See, he has not been a standout player, but if it comes to that, I think Pandya, the younger Pandya.
Hardik
Pandya. Yeah. He has not bowled. He is coming off an injury. He has not bowled. But he can be the difference because his bowling firepower has not been available to Mumbai Indians. That is why they have lost 2 matches. Against CSK, in the first match, they were clueless in their bowling department.
Yeah. I also feel that Pandya can be used better. Just like we mentioned Jadeja, I feel Pandya can be used up the order. Slightly up the order, just to sort of give him that because he has also been out of cricket for more than a year, right?
Yeah.
So just give him that feel. See, currently in the matches that he has played, he has basically come and sort of swung. So maybe he deserves a little bit of stability. Maybe, I don't know.
He had a couple of good shots against CSK, but he got out to a good catch from Faf du Plessis.
Yeah. So I feel that he probably needs a longer innings. maybe
Really.
batting out maybe 40 deliveries, 35, 40 deliveries maybe at one
A
time.
couple of overs can make him
Yes,
feel better.
maybe one over to start with. So yeah, I think that's good. I think that's sort of.
Did we miss out any other team?
No, that we are done. We are done. So what else? Anything else? Any final thoughts about what has happened till now?
Not just the final thoughts. I would be happy if Ben Stokes comes back. I'm a big fan of this. So he is out now for non-cricketing reasons. Hope that is sorted out and he is back. And more than me, RR would be missing him. So that will be great advertisement for cricket. IPL and for RR. So I would want him back.
Yeah, I guess so. I think I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that could be one defining change that can happen. And I'm also looking forward to getting Ashwin back. Ravichandran Ashwin.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
you're right.
Yeah, the one over or whatever he bowled. I mean, he was brilliant. So he seems to have sort of changed his repertoire, added to his repertoire considerably. I look forward to what he can do. And that could be a differentiator.
He has also, talking of his repertoire, he has also added one more thing. He dived, which he has never done in his life.
Yeah, so probably he needs to take that out of his repertoire because we don't want him going back with an arm in a sling. So yeah. So
hopefully he comes back. That's a good point.
These two guys.
It's right you brought up Ravi Ashwin.
Yeah, because I still feel that Ravi Ashwin has a huge amount to contribute to the white ball cricket in India. I mean, I don't think anybody else agrees with me on that, but then that's fine. I mean, I usually plow a lonely.
See, in the IPL, he's the most economical bowler in the power play, man.
Yeah. So that is the point. See, Dhoni, the way Dhoni used Ashwin, I think Ricky Ponting would understand that. In Deccan, I mean in DC, Delhi Capitals. So DC used to be Deccan Chargers, right? I mean, so
I get it. Yeah.
So in Delhi Capitals, Ponting might be the right person, and Shreyas Iyer also is a bit like Dinesh Karthik, who listens a lot, who appears to be listening. So yeah, so let us see how it pans out. So I think that is good enough. I think this was a sort of a roundup. It went a little long, but then when you are rounding up,
which is fine.
You have
to talk of everything.
Yes. So check out what we have said. Agree. I mean, we'd be happy to see disagreements because that actually opens up more avenues for us to think.
And in cricket, there is no argument is finite except with the case of Don Bradman, who was the best. Everything else is open for debate in cricket.
Yes. So Don Bradman, you couldn't, because when you don't argue with somebody who has 99.94, right? I mean, that game, set and match, you're done with it. So we can never go there. Yeah. So we'll keep him aside. We'll do this and we'll argue for everything else. So see you around. We'll do more such shows and let us know how you see these apart from the live shows. So speak to you tomorrow then. Thank you, Bala.
It was great fun. Yeah. As ever, you are very illuminating in your points of view.
I mean, I heard it as eliminating, but then fine.
Illuminating.
So, no.
I'll underline that.
No, so whatever you say, it's up to me to about what I listen, right? So eliminating.
I'm also indirectly, as an euphemism, I'm also saying that you're a tube light.
Yeah, I know. So, there you go. So which is fine. I mean, which is what it should be. So anyway, thanks a lot. We'll see you around. See you tomorrow morning, and all the best. Keep watching cricket, and please comment, please share. I mean, if you like it. If you don't like it, please troll. That is also fine.
Fine.
So take care. Bye.
Bye.